The XC90 is here with some updates, but you can't tick the box to a 2025. You have to tick the box to the 2025.5 Volvo XC90 all-wheel drive B6 Ultra in crystal white over blonde perforated Napa leather. 3 trims to choose from. The B6 has the more powerful variant, giving us a 0 to 60 nearly a second faster than the B5. Going this route, you get the updated front fascia, the bumpers, the wheels, the interior. But is it going to be worth the 77 grand price? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over some pros and cons, compare this against the competition to see if these updates in the Volvo stands up to that luxury. With the new Matrix design Thor LED headlight and daytime runnings that configures into a more modern grille. The Ultra adds the 360-degree reverse camera, and the side air pocket has been reworked so it looks a little bit more dynamic, and the athletic stance is what Volvo is going for, a more aerodynamic vehicle all in general. You're going to have the chrome that's going to surround the lower front parking sensors with the best ground clearance in class. We've ticked the box to the air suspension, so it goes to about 8.4 inches to nearly 10 inches because it will adjust 1.4 inches depending on the driving circumstances. So when we're thinking about that price, comparing it against BMW, Mercedes, and Audi, this is going to be a lot more of a raised suspension, and with that air suspension, it's going to be more like a butter smooth ride. So I would tick the box to that. Underneath the hood is going to house the same 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged and e-charged, plus a 48-volt mild hybrid system that adds 13 horsepower. And that gives us a combined of 295 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque paired to the 8-speed Geartronic automatic transmission, standard all-wheel drive. So this is making me feel like it's worth that extra premium, because when you go into the Germans, you're going to spend 2 grand more. Hell, if you go into Infiniti and Lexus, it's the same thing, as well as Acura. It's achieving 20 mpgs for the city, 26 mpgs for the highway, whether you tick the box to the B5 or the B6. Towing is at 5,000 pounds. On top of the roof rails, if you put the crossbars, 220 pounds. The difference, though, is you're getting a 6.4 second 0 to 60 here, opposed to a 7.3 second 0 to 60 there. And I know when you're thinking Volvo, usually you're thinking safety. Well, they tick the box to that. With blind spot monitoring, steering assist, and cross traffic alert, and the collision avoidance features, that includes the low and high speed collision mitigation that also detects vehicles, pedestrians, cyclists, and large animals, oncoming mitigation by braking, driver alert control, whiplash protection system for the front seats, pilot assist with the driver assistance system with adaptive cruise control, lane keeping aid, forward collision warning, post-impact braking, and automatic locking after a collision. Also, when you're going 2025.5, they have changed the wheel design from a 20 to a 22 inch. We have the 22 inch. It comes standard as a 21 inch wheel when you go into the Ultra. The chrome is still going to highlight the lower trim as well as the window housing, keeping the LED turn signals on the integrated power folding heated side view mirrors. Now, this 48-volt mild hybrid system is very unique because it gives you about 15% more fuel economy, and when you're comparing it against the Germans, that's not going to be the case, giving me another reason why it's definitely worth the price. When you go into Infiniti, they don't even offer it. They have a VC turbocharged 4-cylinder this year for the QX60 and the QX80 twin turbo V6. It's going to be a tank compared to this. That's why I like the XC90 so much, because it's not that large of a vehicle, but you could still have a 6 or 7 passenger layout, plenty of towing capabilities. So going back to that price point, when you're getting all the safety amenities and the styling that is only exclusive to the Scandinavians, it makes it more unique than anybody in class. The rear gets reworked bumpers with the reverse sensors, LED taillights. It's keeping the same structure, which, because it's a 2025.5, I wish they would have changed it just a little bit, but because it's a B6, I'm okay with keeping the hidden exhaust. That was a new feature a couple years back. With the integrated light bar on the lower roof spoiler, the only problems that I have with the exterior styling, because it's a 2025.5, is they didn't really change too much in the rear or the side. They made it very modern, so I think they nailed it on that perspective, but I would like to have a little bit more dynamics if I am going to be comparing this against the Germans. As for vehicles that's more in its class, like Infiniti, Acura, Lexus. This is going to be more performance driven and more capable for the day in and day out use. Plus you're getting an extra 15% MPGs with that 48 volt mild system, which no other vehicle is doing this. So you don't have to go full electrified. You can go mild hybrid and still get the daily work done. But the question still goes into play. Do you think it's worth the $77? Do you think it's worth the $77,000 price tag? Let us know in the comments. Power liftgate going into 13.2 cubic feet of storage. You have a little storage nook here. You can raise and lower the suspension by pushing the button in the rear, which is awesome because it makes it easier to just load anything in and out of the vehicle, because look how low it goes. And underneath, you'll have a spare tire tucked with a 12 volt. You get a little area here that you can hold bottles. These are bag holders. If I can pop them out, there they are. LED interior lighting. Unfortunately, there isn't any power. You have to push it like this, but it's easy to put them down at the 50-50 split. Just folding them up is a little bit more complicated. And this is what I mean by it's difficult. I mean, I'm 6'3", so I can do this, to fold it. It would be nice if they had some little levers here. And that's going to increase cargo to 34.6 cubic feet, but unfortunately, you still have to come into the back, pull this lever here, and you're gonna have to do that amongst the 40-20-40 split to maximize the cargo capacity to 85.7 cubic feet of storage. The key fob to the XC90 B6 Ultra 18-way power seat adjustment for the front. Heated, ventilated massage seats. Perforated Napa leather, memory for the driver and passenger. If you want the manual or the power adjustment for the cushion extensions, which gives you the 18-way power seat adjustment, you have to go into the Ultra trim as well as the ventilated and the memory for the passenger. And right away, you're gonna notice the updates for the dash. We have the Harman Kardon 14 speakers with 600 watts. This area here has been retailored, so this is a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, and also the dashboard itself has been retailored. It is still a driver-focused setup, but they've cleaned this section up quite a bit. You'll get the crystal gear knob, wireless charging pad, which this is now more usable. You got an area for your key fob, glossy black. Let's fire it up. Heads-up display because we're in the Ultra. Auto-dimming rear view mirror with the home link. LED interior lights that you just touch it like this. And the big update is this screen configuration that comes out. It used to be a 9-inch, now it's an 11.2-inch. Touch screen with Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, Google Assist, Google Maps, Google Play. You got your driver modes right here. It's a little bit more intuitive the way they've made it. And because we have the air suspension, you can also make it change that up as well. When you're clicking onto here, this will go for your dual climate control setting for the front. You also have a dual climate control setting for the rear, but it goes back to that $77,000 price. Do you think it's worth it? I do like how intuitive and quick it is. Put it into reverse, and this is also a lot nicer because if you remember, for 2025 and under, you'd have to click to get the 360-degree reverse camera. It doesn't cover up the whole screen, so that's always a con to me, but the trajectory does expand, and you have different camera layouts here too, which makes it a little bit more easy. And you can also do that for the front configuration, and then you'll just have basically the sensors here on the rear. Heated steering wheel, it's leather wrap, multi-function, the same 12.3 digital reader that can go through some different content. You got your comm mode and you got your navigation, so you pretty much have the best of both worlds there. This is going to be a lot more deep than the prior, because if you remember, it kind of stopped right here. So you have a lot more storage capacity, USB 12 volt inside, but still no pass through. But I like how easier it is to operate the front, especially with the way the cup holders and the wireless charging pad is. Headroom is more than enough with a large panel moonroof. It's acoustic, as well as the side windows and the front windscreen because of the Ultra trim. Legroom is more than enough. Dashboard and door configured together nicely. The wood inlays go into the dashboard and it just kind of flows around with the satin aluminum on the lower. Larger air vents going to be around the larger touch screen. The top isn't as soft as I would like, but where it needs to be soft, it is. One touch up and down for all the windows with a large storage pocket and a hidden storage for the driver. A con to me is at this price, you don't have soft closed doors. For the back seat, this is the opening that you have. You get the manual sunshades, which should be power, but I like how easier it is to open and close it, because usually it's kind of back here and you're fighting with it. Look at this. It's a lot more simplified. The door is going to have the same styling as the front, so soft to touch where it needs to be, with about 2 beverage holders. And seat configuration, well, we got the armrest down with cup holders. You can fold this up, and you also have an area here for a booster seat, which you just put it up like that. I do like this configuration because it makes it easier if you have a family. You don't have to worry about buying that. Dual climate control settings, heated rear seats, air vents in the center, and 2 USB-C ports. With the storage net behind both of the front seats, the pillar gets the air vent, soft materials found pretty much everywhere. The moonroof, it actually goes behind my head, so that's definitely a plus. Headroom itself is more than enough. The same thing with leg room, and you can adjust these forward. Because it's new, it's a little tight, which will give optimal space to the rear for leg room. But because I'm sitting here, I need to take as much as I can, as well as reclining these seats so I can just enjoy the drive. And you know, probably would end up using these sunshades a lot more so in the back. Sliding into the center, you do have your own feet space carved out for you, but if you sit like that, I mean, it's going to be super uncomfortable. Sitting like this, your knees are still sitting in the air at 6'3". You'll share some feet space, but it's not a significant amount. The same thing with butt and leg space. The XC90 just gives you all the space that you need, as well as headroom for somebody tall like me. For the third row, pull this lever back here. See, I was just reclining and enjoying, and slide it forward. Because it's new, it's going to be a little tight. That's the opening that you have to fit 2 more in the back, and this is the most seat configuration that you can get in the XC90. You get a cup holder, you get a little storage box, air vents in the side pillars, you get the speakers, LED interior lights. Let's see if we can fold this back. Oh, God, you can. It's just not very desirable for somebody tall like me. And I mean, you can see I'm hitting every single thing. You have some storage here in the center. I kind of wish that they just added more seat cushion, because you don't really have a lot of seat cushion for the back. And as you're seeing, you're going to be sharing some leg space, and it's just really tight for a tall person. The XC90 2025.5 with 295 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Is it worth the 77 grand price point that we have, with some of these updates that include the updated wheels, that's 22-inch, the air suspension, which makes the drive a lot more smooth for the day in and day out, plus it gives you additional clearance, and because we're in the Ultra trim, giving us things like the power cushion extensions, memory for the driver, ventilated front seats. Is this enough to make it worth that price? That's what we're gonna see. The B6 is kind of the best of both worlds to start off with, because I feel like the B5 is, you know, you're getting your feet wet with the brand, so you're getting decent performance, don't get me wrong, but the 0 to 60 is almost a second quicker going this route. And I understand people in the comments are probably gonna say, well, I'm not buying a Volvo for that reason, but you do want some performance with a larger vehicle, especially going onto the interstate, and it doesn't matter what country you're in, you want the darn thing to move. So this 48-volt mild system, whether you go B5 or B6, is very unique, because like I was saying on the exterior, you're getting about 15% better MPGs, a standard all-wheel drive configuration, and hell, if you really want more power, you go to the Recharge, because that's where it's at. That's gonna really compete with the Germans head on with performance, and you're still getting the Scandinavian styling and luxury that we're used to in the Volvo line. I do like the upgraded screen configuration. I just dislike how they pretty much covered where the 9-inch screen was. That's how it looks to me. So it kind of stands out a little bit too much. It looks like an aftermarket upgrade. The digital gauge reader, that's just been a carryover. You don't have a lot of configuration, so that's definitely a con to me, but I really do like the center cluster, because now it's more user-friendly for the wireless charging pad as well as the cup holders. You could also stand your phone, or you can use it for the key fob holder, and you get the crystal knob, which was only on the T8 in the Recharge years ago. Now, how wide is it? It's not that wide. This is why I like this car. You can literally maneuver in and out, it's still a large enough SUV for a 6 or 7 passenger seat configuration. Now, they haven't changed any configuration to the second or third row, as well as the side and pretty much the rear of the exterior of the vehicle, but the styling updates that you get is enough for me to say it is worth the price. As for the drive, should you add the air suspension, I've driven both with and without the air suspension. I prefer it with it because it's a more smoother ride. You also sit up a little bit more, so I would at least go into the Plus trim, so you get the 360-degree reverse camera, the heated steering wheel, and the heated rear seats. The Ultra is just the best way to go if you're wanting the ventilated Nappa leather upholstery with the massaging driver's seat, as well as the crystal knob, the Harman Kardon upgraded sound system. But we have to check out the performance. Let's see what we got. Quick enough. You're gonna hear the engine escalate into the interior, but the sound deadening that they have done with the vehicle, it is quiet, especially at the price point that you're at, because comparing it against any German rival, you're gonna be spending a minimum of $10,000, $20,000 more to get similar numbers in performance and to get all of the actual amenities that you're getting in the interior. So I applaud Volvo for doing that, and it goes back to that question that we keep circling into this review. Is it worth the $77,000 price? I think it is, because of the total package that you're getting for a day in and day out use vehicle. It gives you enough performance, and if you need more, they offer the recharge. It's not overly big, but it's wide enough in the interior for the first and second row. Third row is obviously going to be tight. It's kind of one of the worst in class in that category. As for brakes, it's good. Turn radius is usually not so good. It's about 3 lanes. And this is definitely a con to me because it's not that big of a vehicle. Let's rock and roll. Now, the main concern with these turbocharged mild hybrid systems and what's going on underneath the hood is when you're going around 35, 40 miles per hour, does it have a lag? So that's what we're gonna see. We're around 32. And that's where all this configuration is just going in place to give you as little turbo lag as possible in getting you up to the performance numbers to get onto the interstate, and then the braking to get off the interstate, because sometimes it's just maybe you are turning late or something. You have the braking, so you have the stopping power, you have the luxury. It's definitely a total package, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video. And I'd like to thank Crown Volvo Cars for giving us this 2025.5 Volvo XC90